Hey everybody, this is Debbie coming live for Wednesday training. I'm super excited to be here with all of you guys today. Today we are talking about follow-up, which is going to be such a big part of our job. So I'm going to give people a second to hop on, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So hopefully everyone's having a great day today. My sweet Holly, my assistant, just brought me a nice McDonald's Coke. Don't worry, I think there's no sugar or calories in it. It's regular pop. I'm really kidding, but I do love good McDonald's Coke. Okay, I think we're ready to start. We got some people on here. Hey, everybody. All right, follow up, you guys. One of the biggest keys in our business. You know, there's things that we call kind of productive priorities in our business, and follow up is definitely one of them. It is what is going to help drive your business. It's what's going to help you get new customers, maybe your next hostess and your next stylist. So it's so important to make yourself stand out from somebody else. You know, after doing a vending event this weekend, so many people come to your vending booth that are just not loyal customers. They'll say, oh, I bought, but I don't know who I bought from. You want to be that person that they remember, that they come back to. Why do they come back to you? Well, they're not going to come back to you if you sell to them once and they never hear from you again. Chances are they're going to go to the next vendor they see. They're going to buy from the next party. And I'm not saying that if you aren't reaching out to somebody, that if they are invited to a party, that they're not going to cheat on you sometimes because they're there to support a friend, or they're at an event and they see something and they do an impulse purchase. So that will happen. But for the most part, you want that loyal person. I had many people also say to me, oh, no, I already buy from, you know, and I usually would ask who, because I think it's always fun. I used to know a lot of names, but now we've gotten bigger, so I don't know a lot of names of people tell me who they buy from. So let's talk a little bit about follow-up. Okay, so first of all, you guys want to find a way to make your customers feel special, all right? You know, it takes about, they say, an average of 6 to 8 touches before you really, you know, can get a sale from somebody or start to build that relationship. So your first encounter with them is only one. You've got to do many more before anything really can happen. So how are you going to make yourself stick out and make that maybe sooner than those 6? Well, first, I want you to think about making them feel special. How can you make them feel special? Every time I meet somebody, whether it's at an in-person nail bar, you know, a vending event, I take notes on what I know about them. As soon as they walk away from my booth, I write down, you know, just had knee surgery, or had a 4-year-old daughter, or, you know, whatever job they had, because I'm making this conversation with them while they're looking at the nails and while I'm showing them the application. So I can find out anything about them that'll jog my memory when I go to call them, and also so I can make some conversation with them. Same thing with at a nail bar. You meet people, say their name 3 times in your head. It was funny, they called us out on that at conference. We need to know people's names. And I always say I'm bad with names, but get good at names. Say it 3 times in your head to get it in your head, and then talk to them and learn about them. That stuff can be harder to remember sometimes because you think you will, but after you've talked to 10 people, you forget who went with what story. Write it down on their checkout slip, all right? I take notes all over it. I give them their yellow copy, and I hurry and jot down notes. So now you know a little bit about them, so when you're communicating with them in the future, you're going to make them feel special. You want to spoil them in a way someone else may not. Make them feel special. So let's say that you got an email for an order online, someone you've never had as a customer before. So with that person, I will always send them an email or call if the phone number's there, but it's not always. Thank them for their order, ask how they got my name, and then ask if I can send them an email with some application tips. And that's when I give them, you know, the whole, and I think I have my sample thank you on the Trello board that I send to people. I just say, you know, start with your pinky, end with your toe, or end with your thumb. You know, make sure you use a wider tip, wider one than smaller. If you're in between sizes, wash your hands with soap and water. Don't wash your hands for 30 minutes after. All those little tips. So I tell them I want to send you some tips so you have a better success with your application. Another thing you can do, if they've never ordered before, have you ordered color sheet? Is this your first time? If they say yes, send them a twosie. I'm going to drop a twosie in the mail real quick. That way you'll be able to practice with a twosie before you even open your package, because once you open it up, you know, it will dry out. So I'd love for you to get experience with it before. That special little thing goes a long way to know that they're going to do that. When they come up to me at my vending booth, if I put it on them, which I typically do, sometimes if they say, oh, but could I do it myself? I'll say, well, why don't you put one on the other finger? But for the most part, I'm putting it on them. So when they buy, I give them my little, my Blitz card with my twosie on there. And I say, I'm going to put a twosie in here before you open your pack. I want you to practice with this pack, and you can take it off with nail polish, but just practice with it so you know how to do it before you open your pack. Again, just that little extra thing to make them feel like, hey, she really does care if I can get this on. So if someone sends you, or if you get an email that someone places an order, contact them, make sure you find out where they got your name, and then see if you can get them in your VIP group, all that, all right? And then we'll talk about follow-up with further than that in a little bit. If they're a current customer that places an order, you make sure you send them a quick text, send them a thank you, send them something to thank. Maybe you're in your VIP group and you're thanking them there. Thank them somehow. And then you might even say somewhere in there, you know, like if you are in your VIP group, hey, what, you know, these are great nails. What are you ordering them for? A special occasion. So then when they post a picture of it later, you can say, or if they don't, hey, I'd love to see a picture from your nails from that wedding. I was thinking it was last weekend. Again, you're jotting down notes when you know these things about people. So when you go back for follow-up, you know what to ask them or what to comment on. So talk to them about the current styles. You know, like if you see someone seems like they're following all the trends and they look cool. Hey, look at, we even had pineapples this summer. Do you know fruit was one of the main trends on this summer? Or tie-dye. Oh my gosh, this fall, tie-dye with floral prints are in. Look right here. We have nails coming out with animal print and flowers. You will be one of the hippest people in town if you're wearing those. You know, little things like that to show that you're concerned if you know that that's something they care about. If you know they like solids, then you know you're jotting that down so you know. So when you contact them, you can say, oh my gosh, wait till you see the 10 new solid colors we have. I know you love your pinks, and I just think you're going to love these shades. All right, so anything you can do to connect with them about things you know that they like. How about sending them a fall catalog? We'll have fall catalogs coming out on the 10th, right? What about taking your top customers, sending them a catalog and saying something like, oh my gosh, I just absolutely know you're gonna love all these fall shades. I can't wait for you to take a peek. Thought I'd get this catalog out to you right away so you can see them. Easy as that, all right? It costs a stamp. And maybe you're gonna throw in a twosie in there too. Maybe a twosie of a new color that you have known that they haven't worn yet. All right, so you wanna treat every customer like they're your only customer. You don't want them to think that they're just another person that all you're trying to do is get a sale from them. All right, so you're building that relationship. Relationships are key, not just with your customers, but with your team members as well. So, you know, if they know that, well, never mind. Okay, so if you think of yourself kind of as being in the service industry, instead of looking at trying to just get that sale, think of how we're trying to serve them. We are here as their stylists trying to serve them by giving them the best styles. I know my mother-in-law years ago used to go to Hudson's when it was Hudson's. Now it's Macy's. Then it was Marshall Field's. Now it's Macy's, right? When it was Hudson's, she would go in once a season and have a lady work there and pick out her clothes for the season. Be that person. Hey, I'd love to help you. You know, we got our new fall nails in. Oh my gosh, there's at least 3 styles that are right up your alley. Check out this one, and this one. I'm placing an order. I'd love to order, you know, I'll pick these up for you if you want, then I can just mail them out if you want to order them, or, you know, something of that vocabulary. Be that person, especially if you know it's somebody who struggles with our website, right? I have those some customers that are just like every time they go on, they don't know what their password is, and they'll just, so instead be proactive and just call that person and say, you know, check out these styles. I think you're going to love these 4. I'd be happy to place your buy 3, get 1 and get it sent out to you as soon as I can. All right. So be their stylist. Even if you don't order it, call them Let them know, oh my gosh, I just know that you're big into camouflage. We have a beautiful new camouflage nail now. All right. So let's talk about the best way to follow up. Well, I think one of the best ways to follow up is just doing it. It's such an easy thing to put off. So whatever you choose, however you choose to do it, just keep track and be consistent. So whether it's, you choose to reach out to 5 people a day, or maybe you choose follow up Friday, or talk to people Tuesday, something where you're blocking in a straight up hour. However it is, make sure you are doing it. It's a real important part of your business. Okay, so maybe you're going to do it, you guys, I'm sure we have all talked about the strategy a million times of the 2, 2, and 2, right? So you will contact people 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months after. So 2 days after they place the order, or after an event or a party, just to say thank you. That's it. I personally usually do a phone call for that. If I don't have their phone number, I can't read it, then I might text or something, but I do try to leave messages. Most people don't pick up, I find, but at least it's me leaving a message. Yesterday I left a message for somebody, and she actually texted me back a picture. She'd already put her nails on. So that was kind of fun to see, and then we got in an engaging conversation. And I think in there I had said something about, I hope your boys got off to school okay, because in our conversation I knew she had 3 boys. 2 weeks later, and in that two-day call, you can also say, let me know if you need me to email you any more application tips, especially if it was, at a party or vending event where you talk through it, but maybe they didn't process all the application tips. So ask if they want you to email them those. Email them those. It's a tongue twister. All right, then in 2 weeks, you're just checking in. Hey, just curious if you've tried your nails yet, because a lot of them haven't tried it within those 2 days. Again, look at your notes. Is there any type of conversation you can have with them, about anything else? Or, hey, I know you were buying those nails for, because you have to wear solid color nails at work. Just wondering how these worked for you. Did they work out well? Did you feel they were modest enough for your workplace? Any type of little comment, just, checking in again to see if they like them. That way, if they do have a problem, you can nip it in the bud right then, send them something else to make up for it if you need to, or give them some techniques if they have more sets, and just say, did you have your hands washed, or did you wash your hands after? Just little things like that to help them, so the next time they go to put the sets on, they can remember those tips and hopefully have a better application if they didn't the first time. Because it does take it is a learning process for some people that first time. So then 2 months later, and at the end of your 2-week one, you can say to them, do you mind if I call you back, in a month or so, just to check in again and make sure everything is good? Again, you get their permission. If they're that person who never wants to talk to you again, then they can tell you right there. If not, they're allowing you to call them again. So then you'll follow up that last time, again, bring up conversation. And this is the time that if they have been wearing them all along, you could potentially bring up something about, hey, I know you've been wearing a lot of these nails. I know you've been loving them. Have you thought about earning any of them free? I'd love to host a nail bar where you could get your friends together and earn them free and half off. So it's a real easy conversation because you've already talked to them a couple times. You're not calling them out of the blue. You've established a bit of a rapport with them each time. And so they'd be way more apt to do that with you. So that's a great way to enter that in the third conversation. The first couple, you just want to let them know that you're appreciative. You're not, unless they marked, on a lead slip, yes, I want to have a party or something, you're not calling them about having a party. You are just calling to check in. Now, just checking in doesn't mean they may not say, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about you. I think I do really want to have a party. Or, I've been thinking about selling this. Sometimes all it takes is you calling at that right time. And remember that 2-day window, they're still really fired up and excited. A week goes by, if they haven't tried their nails, they lose their ambition. They don't get as excited. I did see a lot of people this weekend who just said, oh yeah, I got a bunch of those. They're in my drawer. I haven't tried them yet. So if you follow up 2 days later, 2 weeks later, hopefully, and I'm not saying I've called people 2 weeks later, I've called people 2 months later and they still have not tried them. So it doesn't always work, but it does bring it back up in their mind to do it again. So another thing you can do too to help you build that relationship, I forgot to mention this earlier, is friending them on Facebook. After any vending event or nail bar, you know, I kind of used to say more, I have a VIP group, you know, get your phones out. If you want to get in there, you can have an extra ticket. I found nobody did it, really. Maybe a couple people. So I found, I say to people, are you on Facebook? Is this your name on Facebook? Okay, I'm going to friend you after this, and then I'm going to add you to this VIP group. It's a great group I do. It's kind of where I honor my customers and I do some fun things for them. So make sure you look out for that. So they're made aware of it and they're ready to go. Any Facebook group, friend all these people, or if you don't want to be friends with all of them, use their email if you have it and add them to your VIP group. You cannot add them if you're not friends on Facebook. You either have to use an email or be friends with them, just FYI. So that's another good way to build a relationship with those people. Okay, so the next question is how you're reaching out to these guys when you're doing your 2, 2, and 2. Do what's natural for you. If you're completely uncomfortable calling somebody, then message or text them. It's okay. I'd rather have you be comfortable, but just whatever you do, personalize it. Add that extra little bit about the person, you know, how are you, something, not just a generic thing that they can tell clearly went to every single person that you sent to. Use their name in it. Now, as far as organizing all this, I'm not the queen of this. I'm going to be honest. With 2 different back offices, you know, we had one, then we got a second one. You used to not be able to add customer names that you got that didn't order. So if you did any type of cash and carry, you used to not be able to add them. You actually can add them now in our back office. When we first got this back office, though, I didn't like the way the email format was. So I've gone back and forth. So I personally have been a bit of a hodgepodge with mine. I get it done, but it's not as organized as it could be. I finally heard about an app that I was ready to try, but now since we're getting the newsletter and the new app on our phones, I'm going to wait till all that comes out and see if I'm going to add this other app that I'll tell you about. So for right now, what I have some people in my back office, and then I took those people, and then I took all my ones from vending events that I could not add, and I put them in a Google email, like an Excel file, so I could just copy and paste emails. I will say sometimes they get sent back to me if I'm sending too big of a chunk. So I really had to learn to chunk it in smaller chunks if I'm going to send out. So it is a little bit of a hassle. It's not easy. But on the Excel spreadsheet, I have columns then. First, I have their name, phone number, email, address, any of that. And then I have notes where I type in all those little things that I know about them. And then I have follow-up columns. I know some people mark it by day of when they follow up and have alarms so they know who they need to contact each week. I don't personally have that. I have columns, and I do get back with them, maybe not exactly at 2 weeks, but within that time frame. So just making sure that you can keep track of it. So when we get the new app and the new customer emails, if there's no way to do that, I clearly need to stick to a different place that'll hold all my stuff. Because then for a while there too, I was doing the shuffle card. So I was only asking for a number, and I would send out a thank you or all my follow-up for it through a phone number. But then I found some people can't always open that. So I really went back to getting phone number and email if it's a cash and carry order, so I can get a hold of them one of 2 ways. I make sure I look at their information, I can read it back to them, because a lot of times it's really not legible. And then you end up thinking you know what the number is, and you don't, and you end up not knowing their phone number or email. So make sure you read over it, kind of confirm it with them. Again, doesn't matter where you are. If they're online, they're ordering it through the system. So it's really in person or vending events that you're really doing this for. So make sure you can read it all. That way you can now go into your virtual office, and if you go under the order and contacts tab, go under contact management, and you can click add contacts now. So you can put them in with just a name, email, and phone number, and they'll be listed in your virtual office now. But like I said, I want to wait till all of our new stuff comes out and see. There's an app called Maven, Maven. I have not personally used it, but I've had many, many recommendations from other leaders on other teams that absolutely swear by it. So I'll post what it is. You can get it 30 days free to test it out. So maybe you'd want to test it out soon once we get a date on the new stuff and find out when they're going to do that. I don't know if there's going to be a way for us to be able to mark our follow-up. So I have a feeling I am going to switch over to this Maven in addition to the newsletters that go out in the back office. I figure that'll just be another touch when they send those out. But I still want to have one system instead of two different areas where my contacts are in to be able to mark down when I'm following up with people. So I will send you what I know about this Maven site, about what another leader had typed up of the different things she's able to do with it, but she raves about it. Like I said, I don't have experience with it, but I've heard great things. So my challenge to you for today is to look at your follow-up system. What is it? Is it a bunch of papers everywhere? Is it, because I still do paper orders, so yes, I do have papers, but I do keep them in a huge file. I have a huge file for paper orders, and I add to them. I keep them stapled together with whatever event it was, so I can keep track of them by event, because that also helps me sometimes recollect who the people are. So, whether you are using it in Excel spreadsheets or Google spreadsheets or have a different way, make sure you are keeping track. Maybe you have it on little cards. I've tried all sorts of ways. I tried note cards and I'd write it on there at the date, but overall I like the spreadsheet the best. So make sure you have a system, some way to get a hold of your contacts. And if you are not doing it, you need to get it calendar blocked on your calendar of how you are going to follow up with customers. What are you going to do? What do you feel you need to get better at with following up with customers? Are you getting back with them 2, 2, and 2? Are you kind of dropping the ball? Are you reaching out to them just 2 months later, but not immediately after the party? So think of your system and be honest with yourself, and what can you implement to make it a more routine thing for you? Are you going to do it once a week? Are you going to do 10 different reach outs a day? Is it going to be, I try to do it as soon as my event is done within those 2 days, because otherwise I'll procrastinate on it. So that event is done. So I have all of them for their 2 day, they're done. And so I know I'm set on that. So then it's the 2 week ones that you're balancing out with. So that's Facebook parties too. All right. So message all of them, figure out your system, and hopefully we'll find out a little more information too of what we're going to get in the in our new back office and stuff, and being able to reach out to customers. I know the app is more for us, and then I know the back office part will send newsletters. So that's all I know on it so far. All right, you guys. So good luck organizing yourself and figuring out how you are going to best reach out to your people. And if you haven't done it, it's okay. Start now. Start with everybody now, and you can even go back to those old people and say, hey, I'm just reaching out. It's been a while, I know, but I kind of had my business by the wayside for a little bit, and now I'm coming back to it. And I want to check in and see if there's anything I can do for you. It's okay. They're not going to be upset. You're still reaching out to them. All right? So you guys enjoy your Wednesdays. Oh, thank you. And I will chat with you guys soon.